Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bayareaballer18. What's up, man?
Hey, what up, CG? Thanks for having me on. You made an appearance on my channel, and we hit it off talking about Javon Kinlaw. So I appreciate the invite of me coming on and hanging out with CG.
Yeah, that's good, man. What's on your mind, man? We're on that topic, man, that Niner topic. What's on your mind?
You know what? We're about a week out of training camp. I heard the 27th of July is when this thing's going to kick off. And I'm looking at this receiver core, and I'm trying to figure out which six guys are going to make this roster, whether it's six or seven. I'm looking at it, right, because we know Debo and Ayuk are locks, right? I feel like Richie James is a lock. And those are the only three I feel like are guaranteed locks to make this roster. I mean, Mohamed Sanu, a lot of people are hyping him up so far. There's a lot of talk. He's putting out a lot of videos, but it's like Mohamed Sanu couldn't make the roster last year. So we'll have to see how he's really looking in training camp and in the preseason. But I do think I would put him on the inside looking in for a roster spot. What do you think about Mohamed Sanu?
Oh yeah, Mohamed Sanu could be the guy because he was cut last year and he knows the system, so that could be the guy that people are not even paying attention to. So it's like if I had to predict the 6-man receivers to make the team, of course Ayuk and Debo are locks. The hype on Jalen Hurd, man, that's what I've been hearing a lot about this kid. But Richie James, he contributes a lot on special teams. That Trent Sherfield, I've heard a lot about this guy being a special teamer, and it may be hard to cut him because he adds value. He's got a big body receiving type talent. I mean,
we also guaranteed him some money. From what I heard, we guaranteed him $200,000, and a lot of these other guys don't have any guaranteed money. So that shows that they really saw something in Trent Sherfield.
Yeah, he does have that 4.4 speed or something like that. And he's a 6'1" receiver, 220-pound guy. Mostly as a special teamers, a reserve receiver. So prediction: Debo, Samuel, and Ayuk would make it. That's the tricky one, man. The rest of it's tricky. If I had to be on the prediction, I would put. I see that the coach staff are very high on Jalen Hurd. Of course, he'll probably make the team. Richie James will probably make it, mostly as a special team, as a returner. It's hard to cut him because he's very good. Let's see. Jaquan Jennings is making strides, so maybe he might make the team. But then again, you got Travis Benjamin as that deep receiver that can make the plays. Or maybe they just want to take the cheap option and develop Austin Watkins. So I think out of all the 6 people, Debo, Ayuk, Jalen Hurd, Richie James, and most likely Jaquan Jennings, the way he looks like, I would think he would be the favorite to win the 5th spot. And then the 6th spot would be determined between Travis Benjamin and Sanu. And I probably would give the edge to Sanu.
I love it. Yeah, it's a tough exercise. It's hard to try to figure out who's going to make this roster, and that's where training camp, preseason, I mean, these guys are going to be battling, and that's what you like to see is these position battles. And another position battle going on is on the D line. We got a lot of D linemen, and of course, we got Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw. Who else do you see just performing and balling out this year?
Oh, I hear a lot about this one, but nobody talks about this guy. And I've been getting this insight from Larry Krueger. It's got to be, DJ Jones, bro. He's the guy that people don't even mention most about. He does the dirty work. That's the guy that needs to get some recognition. That's the guy that doesn't get talked about because of he plays good. He's good on the rotation. I think that's the guy you got to watch out for. Very good run stopper.
No doubt. Absolutely. DJ Jones. I remember the sack that he got against the Seahawks where he just dominated the center and just like threw the center to the ground and then just sacked Russell Wilson. And it was like, whoa, DJ Jones is a beast.
Yeah, he's like a natural strong guy. And just staying healthy is the main key. But then you got another guy like Kevin Givens. he's coming into his own. Very good. See, those
I'm
are
a big
sleepers.
Kevin Givens guy. I love me some Kevin Givens.
Yeah, but the one that's more exciting to me is man, we got this guy from the Raiders, Maurice Hurst. I think he's got that motor. I think he might just benefit on a change of scenery. I think that the ceiling is good if he's healthy and if he gets in the rotation in the right way.
I like that. And I want to talk about the other Raider that we got, because we got 2 defensive linemen from the Raiders, and that's Arden Key. Because Arden Key, this guy had 0 sacks last year, CG, but actually I did a breakdown on my channel of Arden Key and Maurice Hurst, all 22. The first 3 games of the season, I was analyzing them to see what they did. And although Arden Key had no sacks, he was getting to the quarterback in terms of creating pressures, making the QB step up, move around the pocket. So he showed me something. So I'm excited about what Arden Key can do, being surrounded by more talent and a coach like Chris Kosirik, who's known as one of the best defensive line coaches. See if he can coach him up. Because Arden Key, he's got good finesse moves. He's got good hands a couple times. I mean, offensive linemen are barely touching him. So I'm looking at Arden Key to provide some of that depth, especially with Jordan Willis being suspended the first 6 games.
Yeah, that's what the thing that hurts Jordan Willis now, that he's getting suspended. Now that opens the door for Arden Key. I mean, we do have some good defensive line competition. You got Zach Kerr. Zach Kerr is another guy that nobody talks about, but a journeyman defensive lineman. He's a good run stopper. He's got some decent pass rush. I mean, that could
supposedly he had a great PFF loved Zach Kerr last year. They said he was balling out.
Yeah, he was. Like, he was very effective. Like, there was that one play where he was playing with the Panthers. He made that creative turnover and sacked the guy. That was insane. But he's a 6'2", 330-pound guy, and he moves fast for his size. Like, wow. I would have been okay with K1 Shorts personally, because he's a proven commodity, but Zach Kerr doesn't get talked about. He's very underrated.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Do you think we need to add like another edge rusher? I mean, I know it's kind of slim pickings. Melvin Ingram just signed today. That was a guy who I was always like, man, can we go get Melvin Ingram? Well, now he's gone. He just signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's like Justin Houston is out there. How do you feel about the edge rush position? Do you think we got to bring in one more guy?
Bringing in one more guy depends on the price. I would love to see Justin Houston come to the Niners and reunite with Dee Ford, and maybe he can rotate in. Then you have Samson Ebby come rotating for Bosa, and that would be nice. Then you got other pieces like Arden Key and Willis in the other depth piece. That would be nice. But depending on the price for Justin Houston, I mean, that would be the one player I would want to get is Justin Houston.
Yeah, I feel you. Let's see.
Yeah.
Now, when we're talking, I want to shift to the offensive side of the ball, right? And it feels like the offensive line is pretty locked down, right? We got Big Trent holding down left tackle, left guard, Laken Tomlinson, center, Alex Mack, and right guard, I feel like is the only position where we got a battle going on. So how do you feel? Do you think that what do you think should happen there? Do you just let the rookie step in, or you have him battle it out with Brunskill? How do you approach right guard?
I let it play out itself because the rookie hasn't earned nothing yet. And Brunskill, if you put him in the right place, which he does play well at guard, you can put him at tackle, but he was misplaced at center. So I think you let it play out itself. I think Brunskill doesn't get enough credit for playing guard. I mean, he did a pretty solid job when he played guard. Don't even bother putting him at center. Swing tackle, that's what he does good too. So I let it be a battle instead of giving it to Aaron Banks. I mean,
yeah, have him battle it out. Whoever's performing well and looks like the better player, because that's who we want on the field, right? We just want the best guys on the field.
Yeah, we want the best player to earn it and be the best player on the field. So of course, but the right guard position is wide open, so it can be anybody. I mean, but I think it's going to be Aaron Banks for sure if it was my odd man favorite. But I think Brunskill does a lot more. So maybe they'll just put him as a backup. But if I had
let me
to
tell you,
choose,
CG. Yeah, let me tell you, what I'm thinking with Brunskill is he's going to be the best backup at every position on the offensive line. I honestly think he's the best backup. And center, it sounds like you weren't. I thought he was all right at center last year. Like he wasn't the best, but I thought he was all right. Where to the point where if Alex Mack goes down, I feel like Brunskill could step in, and he's all right.
Yeah, but he just wasn't quite used to that position. He was more used to guard and tackle, so that was his thing.
Yeah.
But so I think offensive line will determine who will be the starters. But Alex Mack, he'll be likely the starter. It's no question.
For sure,
but yeah, depth wise, I think the depth is decent. It's not the one that seems to be a concern. I mean, I think we're improving a lot better. But the one that's more intriguing to me is the running back group, man. It looks like a really deep group this year.
Hell yeah. And I like Wayne Gallman more than a lot of folks. I think Gallman was really good last year on a New York Giants team that really didn't have that much talent around it. You know what I mean? Like Daniel Jones isn't making defenses worry about the pass too much. You know what I'm saying? And Gallman still averaged over 4 yards. I think it was close to 4.5 yards per carry. So when you're showing me that you can run that well in an offense that's limited and still put up, the yards per carry and just his running style, he's a good fit for Shanahan's offense. A one-cut runner with some speed.
Oh, yeah. He's a very physical runner. I mean, he does good in between the tackles. I mean, he can catch the ball off the backfield, too. That's what makes him more viable. I mean, even with Jeff Wilson being injured, it still was a good pickup, good insurance policy. I like Trey Sermon also. So I think our running back group is really strong. Like, even if Raheem Mostert is starting or not, I feel confident at that position.
Hell yeah. Trey Sermon's a monster. Raheem Mostert, I love that dude. I just want him to stay on the field. We might have to scale back his touches. Like, I don't think we can give him 15 to 20 touches. That's too much. We tried to kind of push it to that limit last year, and he couldn't hold up. So let's keep him around 10 to 12 touches, throw him a couple balls, and, you need that guy healthy because he is so electric when the ball's in his hands.
Yeah, even though he's a bulky running back, I think being cautious with him is a smart way to go. Give him 15 touches, like 12 carries, maybe 3 passes here and there. You can get something out of him, and then you just let Wayne Gallman or Trey Sermon take some of the carries, and then that would help the running game better. I think that's the intriguing part about our position is the running back. It's not a weakness. Like, it's a big strength of our offense. Like, if we need to run the ball, we're going to run the ball. So what I'm hearing right now is we're going to run it 500 times. 500 times is what they're setting the goal for.
Wow. Wow. I think of it more of like percentage-wise. You know what I mean? We always run the ball like 50%. I want to say like right around there, where a lot of teams nowadays are passing it more. They're passing it 55 or 60%. Maybe 60 is high, but we're always one of the leading teams in rushing the football.
Yeah, but I guess from what I'm hearing, it's like they're determined to run the ball 500 times this season.
Well, let me tell you what, if you're trying to do that, you know what would help out a whole heck of a lot, CG? Having a mobile quarterback by the name of Trey Lance in there, that'll up your rushing yards and your rushing attempts. Yeah,
that would. But I mean, how do you feel about Trey Lance? Do you think he should be the starter at this point, or you think we gotta wait and see?
Well, you know what? Training camp's coming up, and the preseason's obviously going to start as well. And I'm watching it with a close eye because if Trey Lance starts balling out and is clearly winning the job, then at that point, you can't have a $27 million backup quarterback. So if Trey Lance wins the job, I mean, I think we might have to move on from Jimmy.
Yeah, it would be the best choice to do if that's the case. I mean, if Trey Lance wins the job, then We just have to find some suitors that can take Jimmy's contract. So that's going to be the hard part. But the thing with Jimmy is if he can be our starter and play decent, we can get a really valuable draft pick for next year. So I'm just hoping for the best for Jimmy, so then maybe we can get something in return for next year's draft or something.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the more realistic option, because what my brain is telling me is, look, we're gonna roll with Jimmy. All right, if I mean, Jimmy's a vet. He's been in this offense for what, 5 years now? Like, he should know it like the back of his hand. And sometimes I still wonder if he does, just the way he kind of pats the ball and he doesn't make the decisions as quick as I would like on occasion. But Jimmy's a vet, so you roll with Jimmy. If he's winning games, you stick with him, because that's what we want to do, CG. All we want to do is win games. We want that 6th Super Bowl. But you roll with Jimmy. If he's winning, keep him in. If for some reason things start going south, if we're 2-4 or we 3-5, or they say, you know what, let's get Lance in there. At that point, if we're not winning games and Lance feels like it's ready, you got to make the transition.
Yeah, it would be that's the case scenario I don't want to see, is us going 2-5. Like, I would rather have Jimmy start out at a good record, and then you slowly have Trey Lance play soon. So it's like, I mean, yeah, that is the possibility. If we start out slow, then we would have to play Trey Lance, and it would be like a way to get him ready. So I would prefer Trey Lance to be ready for next year at least,
What's up, heads or tails? Yeah, that's all good. Speaking of the Eagles game, man, that was a game that pissed me off that we lost, dude. We kept letting Carson Wentz sneak out of the pocket. Wentz kept kind of just breaking loose, and he did just enough. Like, he didn't even play that well, but he did just enough to beat us. That was a frustrating loss. I remember that loss to Philly last year.
Yeah, their defensive line was making some insane pressure on Nick Mullins and made him look terrible. Like, see, the thing with us was we were struggling with mobile quarterbacks, and Carson Wentz is very mobile for his size. But now that we have a guy who can stop those mobile quarterbacks, you got Samson Ebicom, who's been capable of containing mobile quarterbacks. Yeah. So I think that's the most underrated pickup in the offseason for us, is Samson Ebicom. He's got the ceiling, he's got the potential. And the issue with our defense, it's been against mobile quarterbacks, we just don't stop them. They seem to beat us with their legs, or they just have a way to extend the plays. It's like, God, it makes me so frustrated as a fan. Like, when are we going to stop these mobile quarterbacks, especially Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, and Kyler Murray, dude, it pisses me off so much. Kyler Murray's so annoying to play, because, you can defend everything perfectly. The coverage could be great on the back end. And then he just squeezes through this little hole to break loose on the pocket, and now he's off to the races. And he's got these quick little feet that are he's so annoying.
But the thing that makes it unique about him is he slides down. He doesn't even run
every time. And if you get close to hitting him, he's looking at the ref like, oh, why did you throw a flag? That's another thing that annoys me. He's always begging for a flag, like, even though he slides right before our guy's about to tackle him. So it's like, yeah, dude, if you're going to slide right when you're at my knees, like, there's going to be some contact.
Oh, you got a Bears fan here, but yeah. Yeah, dude, that's the thing about mobile quarterbacks. They're just very frustrating with our defense. Like, even with the thing with Robert Saleh, don't get me wrong, he was just too vanilla. He didn't have the way to stop mobile quarterbacks. It was hard to figure out ways to slow it down. But maybe with DeMeco Ryans, we might have something with DeMeco Ryans. I think he knows how to, like, work with that. I mean, he's worked with defense in Houston and Philadelphia. They were capable of stopping mobile quarterbacks, so maybe he has a plan to slow it down. So maybe that was the suggestion. Oh, let's sign Samson Ebicom. He can slow down these quarterbacks.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head, because, another shameless plug, but I did a breakdown on Samson Ebicom of every one of his sacks, and in a few of them, he was containing the quarterback very well. One of them was Lamar Jackson, in fact, where he's containing the QB, and as soon as the Lamar Jackson tried to break loose, Samson shed the block and went and got him. And that's where he's got that quickness. He's powerful. You're right. This Samson Ebicom pickup could be crucial.
Yeah, especially on third down of our defense when we need to stop that mobile quarterback. That's the guy you need. Then you got Arden Key, who could definitely slow down mobile quarterbacks also. And then you got a guy like Maurice Hurst, who's got that motor. He's very capable. I mean, I think that's what's different about this year is our defensive line group is very deep, and it's got potential to be a good run stopper at best. I mean, they can put up the sacks, but I think this year it's going to be a good run stop defense. I got a feeling it could be because Javon Kinlaw is a good run stopper. He doesn't have to be a great pass rusher. He just has to be a decent guy.
Absolutely. I feel like we're always pretty competent against the run. At least we were throughout Saleh's tenure. Now, the linebackers, let's go over the linebackers real quick, right? Fred Warner, all-pro, phenomenal. I love how Fred Warner, he's the best coverage linebacker in the NFL. He's the best coverage linebacker in the NFL. I love how he has so much awareness in the run game. He's always in the right spot at the right time. I wouldn't call him a thumper, right? He's not going to hit you like P. Willie did, but he's a very sound tackler. Fred Warner's phenomenal. Dre Greenlaw. What do you feel about Dre Greenlaw?
Dre Greenlaw is just a guy who can tackle, and he's at the right place at the right time when it comes to it. Like, he doesn't seem to miss as much tackles. Maybe his coverage is very decent. Fred Warner is exceptionally, like, how do you get this guy in the third round and this guy becomes a bona fide stud? I mean, who would have thought that we would just fix our mistakes when we drafted Reuben Foster? Reuben Foster was supposed to be that guy, and he just never panned out. And then we drafted Fred Warner for him as an insurance policy, and that insurance policy is paying off big dividends.
Absolutely. You're not kidding about that. Now, a player who I don't think gets enough recognition, who I do like, is Azeez Al-Shaair, our third linebacker. I remember checking him out in the preseason, and there was no preseason last year, so it must have been 2019. 2019. Yeah. I remember him being on the field in preseason. I was watching him kind of exclusively, and I was like, he has good quickness. He knew where to be. He didn't look lost out there. So, I mean, I'm just an Azeez Al-Shaair guy. I think this guy is a good third linebacker.
Yeah, like he's a physical hitter too. I've seen his highlights where he can hit somebody pretty hard, and he was playing at Florida Atlantic, and I think his 40 time wasn't that great, and I think that's why he went undrafted. But he had the physical traits. It's kind of crazy that you get these guys undrafted and then they end up being something good. Like who would have thought that guy would have been our guy to make the team? But they liked him a lot, so that's what got him to be on the roster for the last 3 years at least. But I think for him, playing the Sam spot is good because he can play that role just fine. Dre Greenlaw can play anywhere. He could even play Mike because he's played it. He can play any spot. But Fred Warner, he's a good leader. He was a hybrid linebacker coming out of college. So you definitely like what you see. In today's NFL, you do need a hybrid linebacker to cover and do a lot of everything. So that's
Fred. I remember when Fred was coming out, he was lined up like in the slot over wide receivers, and it was like, okay, this is the linebacker we just drafted, but he's lined up guarding a wide receiver in the slot. So it was very interesting.
Yeah, he was a guy that I've heard about when I was like watching Fresno State played against BYU. Number 4 was just in covering in the slot and playing everywhere. So I was wondering, who the hell is this number 4 guy? He's good. So I started checking him out, and then I started like thinking when we drafted that guy, I'm looking at him and saying, wait a minute, that was that one dude that made that play against Fresno State. He was making some crazy plays. And I'm like, whoa, that's the guy we just got? It is, dude. That guy is something.
Oh, yeah. Fred Warner's, I mean, he's a baller. He's the best linebacker in football, all right? Am I biased? Yes, I am. But he's the best linebacker in football.
Oh, yeah. Steve Z.A. Smith wouldn't disagree about it, and he's a Seattle fan. He even said it earlier on the stream that he said Fred Warner's the better linebacker. No offense to his boy Wagner.
Okay, all right. That's high praise. Yeah, I checked that out for a while with Steezy. That was a great show.
Yeah, me and him do NFC West roundtable. Me and him are gonna have one, like I think we're gonna have with the AZ Sports Fan Channel and Ram Showcase. So we're doing roundtable, but I don't know when they're gonna start it. But we're already in the process to getting 2 days a week for the season. It's gonna be during the season. We're gonna do like a preview, and then we're gonna do like I guess whatever we debate on injury updates and all that. So that's all we're gonna do. But this roundtable got potential to be really good. So we haven't done this.
That sounds fire. That sounds fire. It does.
Yeah, especially with that NFC West fan base. You get a lot of those followers here. And it's crazy that I didn't even come to that guy and ask if I can be the representative of the 49ers. He just reached out to me, and I'm like saying, oh, hell yeah, I'm down. And
because you're doing it the right way, CG. You know what I mean? You've been building up your channel. You're almost at 2K, and you're killing it, big dog.
I'm killing it in wrestling, but I don't know. Football's getting there.
Okay. Is that what's been generating most of your clicks? I've seen some of the wrestling.
Yeah, if you look at the Jim Cornette and Vince Russo fight, it's close to 15,000 views. Like, damn.
I had no idea. See, I'm always locked in on the football stuff, whereas wrestling was like, my brother loved wrestling, and my older brother, so he always had it on. But I don't know, I didn't love it as much as he did. My brother's a big wrestling fan.
Yeah, I just like the old school. I'm not too much into the new one. I watched it yesterday, the Money in the Bank. The only one that stood out was that match, that Money in the Bank with the men's match. That was spectacular. The Reigns versus Edge, it kind of had the BS ending when Seth Rollins interfered and cost Edge the title. I think that's going to be a good rivalry match between those two egotistic people. They have that cockiness. I think it's going to be a good match. Edge versus Seth Rollins, who they're very similar with their attitude. I think this has got a match of the making. So I think that's a good.
I mean, Edge is an OG. Like I said, I don't watch really any wrestling nowadays, but from having it on back when I was at mom and pop's house with my brother, I remember Edge. So that dude, he's an old school guy for sure.
Yeah, he still can do it, but I guess he took 10 years off of the injury, but now that he's back in better shape, so it's kind of remarkable for a guy to come off of a spinal cord injury, and it could have been career-ending, but he took 10 years off, and then now he's in better shape.
Wow.
Yeah. So I know that you're probably just not like into the wrestling like it used to be, but I usually like the Ruthless Aggression era and the Attitude era. So I had the one with John Cena rap battles. Those were the funniest ones I'm going to download. I'm going to download the one with him and Christian, where it was funny as hell. So I've been finding these videos that haven't been like posted as much. They haven't posted those videos as much. So I've been checking out some rare videos, doing my research. And I guess the Jim Cornette video that had like the one with Vince Russo and them fighting or arguing, that was never like shown as much. Like it wasn't like shown in that smartphone type of thing where they posted on YouTube. So I guess that's part explains why I got close to 15,000 views of it. And I think I got about 300 or 400 comments and close to 1,000 likes or something.
Damn. That's next level. Big dog.
Yeah, I love my football too, but I like to mix it up. So I think that's what's adding my subscribers and a little bit of the audience. But football isn't quite the big audience I was hoping for.
Okay, I feel you. Well, I mean, if we're opening it up, tell me about your Lakers. Are the Lakers going to be back on top? Are they going to be back on top next year, or what do they need to do to improve their roster?
Oh, they just gotta be as healthy as a team. I've heard a lot of these complaints about Kyle Kuzma. He's just not quite cutting it. So I don't know. Maybe they might have to trade him, but we might have had a hangover year, and it's kind of been like LeBron's been running this team. He's been making the calls. He wants to get whoever he wants. So it's like this guy thinks. He runs the shot. He thinks he's the. I don't know, man.
He's the GM. LeBron, if you bring LeBron on your team, he's the GM.
He's the GM.
That's how it works.
He He wants his players, so that's what it is. But Anthony Davis, man, stay healthy, dude. Get your shit together. That's what frustrates me. Yeah, and especially then there's been talks about maybe getting Dwight Howard back. I don't know. Yeah. Not too big.
I mean, he's not gonna move the needle too much. It's like you can get big guys for cheap nowadays, like JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard. I mean, these guys, they're almost getting phased out of the NBA, because a lot of times nowadays the NBA, they want to get mismatches, right? They want to get your centers switched out on, your main offensive weapon, whether it's a shooting guard or a small forward, but they want to exploit these mismatches.
Yeah, they do. They want to mix it up. It's a little more of it's a different era. Like there's just more favoritism in this NBA. Like before, I think it's just what it is with LeBron. Wherever LeBron goes, he gets his way. It's like Tom Brady, man. Come on. I don't know. I don't see it the same as it used to be when you had Kobe Bryant making all the clutch plays and everything else. It's like haven't really followed as much with LA as much, but I've seen what they've been doing. But it's just like, you feel like LeBron just running the team like a GM. He's getting everybody else. But this season was based – I think last year was just we were going through the injuries. We were starting out good, and then we were slumping a little here and there. And then when we made the playoffs, it looked like we had the chance to upset the Suns, but then we blew it. So overall, it seemed like we just didn't reach to the repeat of our potential. Like we could have had all the talent in the world to get there, but we were losing some key players. When you lose a guy like Rondo and quite a few other guys, you can't it's going to be hard to get those other role players. Rondo was good off the bench.
Man, Rondo's a winning basketball player. Sometimes, I feel like Russell Westbrook is not a winning basketball player. You know what I mean? There's just guys that have that winning aspect to them. They make the right plays at the right times. They make good decisions, and that's Rondo. And it's not so much Westbrook.
It is not. Westbrook has Yeah, Westbrook has an ego. Rondo's a team player. I think he just plays to win, and I think he just has that killer instinct that most players don't realize. Like when he was with the Celtics, he won a championship with the Boston Celtics. He won as a Laker, but the thing with Rondo is he's at the right place at the right time. So it makes him – I think losing him was a big loss because you had a good chemistry with him and LeBron. Him and LeBron were building a good team together. Now that he left, it was a different scenario. Like you just had a lot of other guys who just didn't seem to be proven. Yeah, Rondo should have stayed with us because you had that chemistry, you had that locker room, you had that trust with LeBron. LeBron had every trust with this guy, and then he went. So
it's all about the money, though. It's all about the money, though. You know what I mean? Lakers' pockets was tight. Lakers' pockets was tight, so he had to get that last payday, right? Because he's getting old, so you got to get that last payday.
Yeah, sometimes people want to take the money over the ring, so that's true. But he's got rings, so he ain't worried about it. So I mean, just like how KD just left Golden State just to go get another money right there.
That hurt, man. I loved KD before he became a Warrior. So it was like when he came to my squad that 4th of July, I woke up that 4th of July morning at like 8 a.m., which was unusually early for me, right? And I was like, KD's coming. I felt it. And then within an hour, the tweet got released or whatever, the Players Tribune, whatever the hell it was, and we got KD. And let me tell you something. I got more KD jerseys than I do Steph jerseys. And that's just how much I loved KD. Most Warriors fans will tell you, oh, Steph all day. I love Steph. Don't get me wrong. But KD is just so sick with just how big he is. And, I mean, it's just abnormal to be able to shoot the rock, handle it, and you're 7 foot. Like, that's sick.
Yeah, KD just had a different element, and he made the Thunders good too. So it's like when he had Westbrook and him, they were just a good combo together. But once he went to the Golden State Warriors, you guys had a squad. You had a really good all-around squad. You had Thompson, Curry, I mean,
we had the greatest team of all time. Not a really good squad. I call it the best team ever.
You had all bunch of talent. That's what made it so like this NBA is all about all-star team. They bring all this all-star and they don't even make it more competitive to a fair game. They always have to bring all these all-star players. Like just for example, like how the Miami Heats were taking all that superstar team, just like how teams like the Bulls and other teams they start stacking up that super team. But like with the Warriors, they did the same thing. So I'm not saying that the Warriors did the same. I mean, did everything exactly. I mean, any team would do that just to get a ring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was the first one that we won in 2015, right? It was a lot of homegrown talent. You know, Steph drafted, Clay drafted, Draymond drafted. Really, it was like Iguodala was like the one free agent that we had brought in. I mean, there was a few, but the biggest one was Iguodala. So that team, and that's why that 2015 championship, that might be the most special one. Not that they weren't as good, but when KD came. But once KD came, it was championship or bust. Like if you didn't win it, it was like, you guys suck because you got the best roster. You just got KD. So that first one felt pure.
Yeah. See, sometimes the first championship for a team that hasn't won in years, but when you build around your own talent, that does give you something to look like to remember. Like as a fan, you know, when you witness that and then they start getting all the super team, it just doesn't seem like the same as when you build your own roster. Like if you can win a championship with your own talent alone, then that speaks volume. But if you're just going to get all this all-star talent and buy championship, then that doesn't give you something to remember much, you know. Like I mean, I don't know. Like as a Lakers fan, we always seem to buy championships every now and then with these top players. Like every time, if we wanted to win a finals, we would have to get somebody like Kareem Jabir, and he was a proven commodity for Milwaukee, and you got him and to be a part of that dynasty. So we built a super team under that. And then when we had we got Shaq off of Orlando. Come on. That just made it more like we were just destined to win championships. And
yeah, what was that trade? Do you know what that trade, or was he a free agent? Like, how the heck did you guys get Shaq?
We do. It's the Lakers way, man. We make the insane moves that nobody would expect. Like sometimes you would think for 1 second we weren't gonna get that guy, but then the moments we make that trade, we get that guy. So it's like I remember a time when I was like thinking, how the hell did we get Dwight Howard? Him and Kobe, I don't know. They don't seem to coexist.
Let me tell you, I use that Kobe gif all the time when he's yelling soft at Dwight Howard. He was like, soft. I use that gif all the time.
Yeah, I actually downloaded that one video of Kobe trashing him or calling him soft or something.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about what it is about. So in today's NFL, it's too much safety, but in the NBA, it's all about getting these all-star players, man. They make all these ridiculous moves.
Hey, who do you think's going to win this NBA final? We got to touch on the NBA finals real quick. If we're talking NBA, and here we are, it's 3-2 right now. Milwaukee just came back, 1-3. Pow, pow, pow.
Well, momentum's going into Milwaukee's favor, so it wouldn't surprise me if Milwaukee just wins the next game. Because if the Suns, they got to win 2 straight to win the championship, or else they're done. So that's it.
Yeah,
this is make or break for the Suns. The Suns have to win 2 more games to be champions. The Bucks are just they're in the hot seat. Just need 1 more win. So I think a team with momentum is always in favor to win. Once you get on a roll, it's hard to stop that team.
And they're at home. Yeah. So I feel you. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Phoenix. They're going to need their horses to step up. You know, I mean, Booker's been balling out. Chris Paul, he might have had a bad game the last one, but I thought he's been all right. Chris Paul, that was a guy the Lakers, remember when that trade happened and you guys were supposed to get Chris Paul, and all of a sudden the commissioner, David Stern, just said, no, gave it to Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, that was BS. I've heard about that for years, and I was like thinking, how come we couldn't get that? We were built See, that's the way the Lakers are. They like to build that super all-star talent, but then again, we are the most popular franchise besides the Celtics. We just have that. We just have a great franchise history. Love. We love the spotlight. That's what it is about LA. Out of all LA sports, that's the only team I go for. Because I mean, I don't really go for any other team besides the Lakers. So it's like I grew up a Kobe fan, and Kobe just never left LA, so it's always stuck with me. And I got a lot of Kobe Bryant jerseys, so that kind of makes me more of a Kobe guy. But then again, I do have a LeBron jersey, even though I got it like as a purple jersey. But still, I rock the Lakers. Win or lose, even though we made the playoffs and we lost to the Suns, we should have upset them. That would be a grain of salt to just move on. Maybe next year will be better. But it wouldn't be shocking if you guys are the healthy team and actually can make a strong push. So we should wait and see.
I hope so. Man. We need Clay back. I need my boy James Wiseman to step it up a notch. Kelly Oubre, I don't even think Oubre really makes us. I mean, it's controversial for me to say it, but I don't think he makes us better. He's just not a good fit. Like, he's a talented player, but he's not a good fit for our offense. So it's like, if we can sign and trade Oubre, that would be the best way to maybe get another talented player, because we're up against the cap. It's hard to make moves when you're up against the cap. So we got 2 draft picks, which the draft is coming up at the end of the month. The draft is going to be here real soon. I've been checking out some of these prospects. The Warriors have pick 7 and pick 14 in the first round, and I'm trying to figure out which prospects I like. And there's a guy, a shooting guard by the name of Book Knight, coming out of UConn. This guy's super athletic, this guy can score the ball. So Book Knight would be an intriguing option. I like the white boy from Gonzaga, Corey Kispert. But pick 7 is a little high for this guy. This guy just shoots the rock, CG. This guy's got a jumper. So I like Kispert. 7 feels high, but if we try to snag him at 14, we might miss out on him. So I'm trying to watch some of these prospects. There's the Franz Wagner. Remember the Lakers guy? They had a guy, Wagner.
Yeah.
And his younger brother is at Michigan right now. And he's a good prospect. Here we go. Jay's helping us out. Davion Mitchell. For some reason, I don't want a tiny guard. I know Davion Mitchell's a tiny guard. I haven't dove in on the film on him. I know he's from Baylor. Great defender, allegedly, like a Patrick Beverly type. But I don't know if I want that at 7. Scotty Barnes. This dude, Scotty Barnes, looks like a player straight out of the 1980s who will just dunk on you. He can pass. He's big. But I don't think Scotty Barnes is going to make it to us. There's this kid Kuminga coming out of the G League who's super athletic, but he's kind of a project. So it's like, do the Warriors really need another project player, or do we need a guy who can help us out right now? These guys are ready to win.
Yeah, you want to get the guys who can win right now. Like, if you had a stacked roster of a team, then of course you can be patient with that. But most teams want to win now. But if you're stacked with a team, it doesn't hurt to get some projects. Like for us, like for the Niners, prospectively, Trey Lance, some people may list him as a project because he's still learning. So I think that's okay to wait for him to learn until next year or maybe this year. We can still have Jimmy and still play. So I think that's what makes it interesting when you can take a chance on a project player.
I like the transition back to the Niners, CG. That's why you're a pro.
Yeah, I'm a pro, but I'm a pro at wrestling. That's the difference. No, but seriously, football is it's my main favorite sport. Wrestling.
Let me show off my shirt.
Oh, the use check. Nice, man.
Hell yeah.
I played the game of football for so many years. So, I know the X's and O's. I played it for a while. I stopped playing 2 years ago with a serious injury. Had to step away. Was contemplating to make a return, but I had thoughts, and I said, you know what? I just don't have it. I don't want to make it worse for my wife to be too concerned about me. She said, I don't want you to get hurt again. I don't want this to be too risky. And I told her, I don't know. I don't feel like I had 100% to play. Plus, I feel a lot of the pain and aches that I've been through, the injuries. It's like 6 concussions doesn't make it the same for me to think mentally, and multiple injuries from the ankle, the knee, a lot of it, man. I've been playing this game for many years, and I just had that will to not quit, but I still had to come up with some dignity and just retire in good health,
I feel you. CG. Football is just a different ball game. I mean, I'm Bay Area baller because I love basketball. I played a lot of baseball, basketball. My nose, I don't think it's too bad, but it's been broken twice. One, I took an elbow to the nose. One of them was a headbutt. So it's like when you're playing these sports, man, it's part of the risk you take. So now when I ball up, it's like, dang, I feel like I need to get that Rip Hamilton mask. You know what I mean? I thought about maybe picking one of those up because it's like, I already busted my nose twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, get a mask, protect yourself. Yeah. Wait, like it's better that way so you don't get any injuries. But sometimes these kind of sports can get very physical. The one that's more physical from what I'm hearing is rugby, man. It's the most physical sport. Then you got soccer. I don't like soccer as much, but I know it's very risky. You can really tore your ACL in a lot of bad ways.
Jay's saying, yeah, Kenny Atkinson is a coach. I recognize the name. I know he's a basketball coach, but it sounds like he's good with working with big men. Jay, you might have to fill me in a little bit more on that because we need Wiseman's development to accelerate. Because last year, honestly, I copped the Wiseman jersey. Like right when we drafted him, I was pumped because that's who I wanted. 7 foot. He's got some skill. But the one thing that was pissing me off, CG and Jay, was that Wiseman wasn't hitting the boards like I want him to. Right? When the shot goes up, you're 7 foot, crash the glass, big dog. You're huge. You got a 7'8" wingspan, right? Crash the glass, grab some of these boards. And it's like sometimes he was content with just getting back in transition and not hitting the offensive glass where it's like, dude, hit the glass.
Yeah, man, hit the glass, all that, dude. Man, dude, like, it's like we can go on for hours with these debates, man. Like, you seem more entertaining. You seem more innovative. I like that about you. And, the way you build your content, man, you're doing it the right way. Just don't do the route I did, man. I was doing a different route where it got me to a lot of controversial, a lot of heat. And, don't do that trash talk stuff, man. That's not going to get you to build your channel. But that's how I started out as a trash talker. And then I started sneaking my way out of it and then started building my content differently. But, best advice for you, the way you're doing your channel, man, just do you. Mix it up a little bit like you're doing. It's gonna get up there. I mean, you're on your way to almost to 500. I mean, I think you have the upside. You do good breakdown films. I watch your videos all the time. Every now and then I'll check it out when I get a chance. Most of the time I check out Jay and the Bay, but most of the time I check out you. I see what you got to say. I check out your live stream with Chardell and others. I always come in, and I think the Lakers should trade Kuzma. Man, I've heard a lot of complaints, man. I hear a lot of complaints about Kuzma, like he's been blowing it. And then you got Anthony Davis. Oh, my ankle! I got a boo-boo. I'm missing time. Oh my God! This is what it's like to be an LA Laker. It's expectations, man. We're Hollywood. We live off the spotlight, man. You guys are the Bay Area. You guys haven't made it to the top until 1976, until the previous years, until the decade. You started like building up your dynasty there, but still, kind of like that's how it is with the Giants. We haven't won a World Series like at first before we won our first one in 2010. We haven't won one in 1954 or 56, one of the two.
Crazy. And then we rattled them off 10, 12, 14. And when you're talking those Giants World Series, it was like we never had the most talented team. You know what I mean? We had good pitching depth. Yeah.
We just had an entire good talent with Brochi. I mean, Brochi, whatever. He was a good person that eventually became a part of ours. Brochi was a genius, man. That one guy we used to have.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And we had those arms, man. Tim Lincecum, Matt Cain, Madison Bumgarner. When you got 3 horses, I mean, you got a shot at a World Series.
Yeah. And you know what? Hey, huge shout out to Ronnie Morgan. Yeah, you know what? I do want to encourage you to do the right thing. I don't want you to make the same mistakes as I did, because you get a lot of these trolls, you get a lot of these people who dox you. They'll follow you, they'll say some stuff. They'll be like, you're better off not even get into those. But what you're doing is a good thing, dude. So yeah, you know what, man? Even though you're a Warriors fan, I'm not gonna give you a hard time, man. I mean, I'm a Lakers fan. I know we ain't gonna like each other on the game, but when it comes to the Niners and the Giants and the Sharks, we're good, man. But man, when it comes to the Warriors and Lakers, I don't know, man. We'll probably just talk after the game.
No doubt, man. That play-in game, that was a thriller, right? Remember that play-in game to get in, that first one? It was Lakers Warriors. That game was a lot of fun to watch. Warriors lost, but it's like
it was a close
LeBron.
Game. Even when you guys were injured, I think you guys were playing hard out there. Oh, real quick question: do you think Drummond will resign with the Lakers? It depends on LeBron James if he wants him back or not. I think the way he played, I think he played decent. I think you could bring him back for a cheaper deal. So, yeah, will the Lakers resign Drummond is the question. He didn't meet expectation. Probably take him for a cheaper deal.
Yeah. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no, and I'll tell you why. I don't think the Lakers have a ton of cap space, and the way they got Drummond was like a buyout, right? So when you get bought out, the old team's paying most of your contract, if not all your contract. So the Lakers got him for super cheap this past season. I don't think they're going to be able to re-sign him because Andre Drummond, like, he's not a minimum. He's not Dwight Howard or JaVale McGee.
Not the same.
Yeah, he's a better caliber player. So you're going to have to pay to bring him in, and I don't know if the Lakers have the funds to make that happen.
I don't know, but it depends on LeBron if they can take some. But I think it depends on who we sign. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I've been hearing rumors about Damian Lillard or Lillard or whatever, the Damian Lillard. I've heard rumors about him, and I don't think it's going to happen unless somehow we make that move and LeBron just tells him, hey, we're going to make this move. Then if LeBron wants him and we got the cap space, then I think we could. But I don't think Portland's going to do that. So let's see. Hey, Corey. Hey, Corey Davis, what's up, man?
Hell yeah, let's get Clay back. I miss this guy, Clay, because not only is he one of the best shooters in the world, he's a phenomenal defensive player. So now coming back off the ACL, I feel like the jumper's not going nowhere. All right, the jumper's still going to be there, but defensively, off the ACL and the Achilles, defensively is where I want to see, like, all right, Clay, where are you at? Can you move? I don't think we're going to ask him to guard point guards like we did for so many years. Steph would guard the twos, and then Clay would pick up the premier scoring point guards. But now we might have to shift things up. That'll be interesting to see.
This is a good question. Yeah, you know what? I don't understand it. Like with D'Angelo Russell, he became a star with the Brooklyn Nets. Lonzo Ball became very decent with New Orleans.
Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram has become an outstanding star for the New Orleans Hornets or the Pelicans, whatever they are. I mean, dude, like a lot of the guys we had, Josh Hart was solid for that squad too. I mean, damn, we keep trading these players away, and they end up being better elsewhere. But then again, it's because LeBron doesn't have no patience. LeBron wants to win now, so he ain't gonna have no time to develop his players. He wants veterans. He wants guys who want to win a championship. He ain't gonna put up with it. Like, the only player we kept was just Kuzma and a few other young ones. That's about it. But as far as like Brandon Ingram had superstar potential, D'Angelo Russell, as good as he was, he was exceptionally good, but it was based by the ego from what I'm hearing. He only lasted one damn year with us.
He didn't even last a year with us. We had D'Lo. And D'Lo, I mean, he was kind of fun to watch. But again, when we're talking about winning basketball players, and we're saying Russell not a winner, I mean, D'Angelo Russell, I don't think he's really a winner either. Hi, SG.
I think he's – yeah. Oh, who's SG, man? What's up, man? Yeah, and check out JC Eagles Talk, man. If you want to debate with an Eagles fan, you can check him out too, man.
No doubt. No doubt. Okay.
Yeah, you want to mix it up a little. I know some people want to mix up other content with other people, but you know what? I'm looking more forward to that game too. Like, oh yeah, Clarkson. Sixth man of the year. Yeah, Jordan Clarkson, I think.
Yeah.
And that dude wasn't nothing with us.
Yeah.
And then we had Randall. Yeah, Julius Randall. He's doing great.
Oh, damn.
Oh, that was a guy that we had high hopes for. Number 30. He had the high potential, but he just needed a fresh start.
Lefty. Yeah.
Yeah. We wasted his career there, and now he's doing pretty decent over there for the
he's a superstar for the Knicks. He just had
Knicks. There you go, Knicks.
Yeah, he's like a potential MVP candidate this past season. Like, he was balling.
These guys that didn't pan out, they tend to be stars elsewhere, man. That's just crazy. And that's a good question, but what JC Eaglestock did say, I mean, I don't know. It's just the way how LeBron runs, man. If you're not you don't have patience for everybody. We should all thank the Timberwolves for not taking Curry. Poor Timberwolves.
They passed on him 2 times. That's what they took. Johnny Flynn and Ricky Rubio ahead of Steph Curry. And that's what allowed us to get the chef, and it was history from there.
Yeah, we had all that. We had all those players at the time, but they just weren't ready. So I guess they needed to be better elsewhere. Yeah, it is crazy. But man, dude, I'm enjoying this conversation here and there, man. It's kind of going well, bro. It's hitting off. But at the meantime, bro, anybody else want to go check out Bayareaballer18 or tell anybody how they can find you on Twitter or whatever you got on your social media? Let them know.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Bayareaballer18. That's my Twitter. That's my YouTube. I can't wait till preseason starts and training camp. We're going to have a lot more to talk about. I do a lot of 49ers content. That's kind of my main thing, but I am kind of branching out and talking about basketball. As you can see, I do love basketball. Baseball, I stay pretty tuned into. But once football starts rolling around, I do a lot of film breakdowns. All 22. I got NFL Game Pass, so I love to just break down the film and tell you what I saw. You know, a CG. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. I plan on doing like an offensive line report after each week. You know what I mean? When the game happens and the film comes out on Tuesdays, I want to analyze the offensive line and figure out, all right, who was playing good, who needs improvement. JC Eagles, I appreciate that. You know, when we get some 49ers Eagles action, I'm gonna have to hit you up, big dog. But
talking about Eagles, man, I'm gonna have Lord Brunson in for week 2 of the season, which he's a big time Eagles YouTuber. But he's somebody I reached out on Twitter and he said week 2 is fine. So that's gonna be interesting. So yeah, man. But appreciate you coming into the stream. It's been a blast, bro. Looking forward to the near future. We can collaborate and debate more football. But like, dude, it's a blessing, bro. Like you're just, dude, we can talk for hours and it wouldn't bore me one bit. It's like you just know what you're talking about. You're more entertaining. Man, you should be a wrestling heel. Do a promo, trash talk somebody, not just playing.
You already warned me. You told me not to do
that. No, not that one. But I was playing around, bro. But no, seriously, don't go to the other community. Don't go to that community. But what I'm trying to say is like WWE promos, like just like, hey, CG, you're so fat, you're out of shape, you're about to run, you can't run a 40 time, you be running halfway there.
I'm gonna work on my Macho Man.
No, that's Ric Flair. That's the Ric Flair move.
Oh shit! See, that's why.
No. Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dig it.
You
gotta work on that.
You hit it, CG. You hit it because I don't really know the wrestling. You hit the Macho Man one time.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Dig it. I'm the cream of the crop. That was my favorite wrestler too.
Hell yeah. I can't believe I mixed up Macho Man and Ric Flair. You got to forgive me.
That doesn't go well.
Hey, CG, thanks for having me on. You know, I had a great time. Like you said, we could talk ball all night. The chat was live. Thank you guys for stopping by. If you could subscribe to my channel, Bayareaballer18. I'm going to be doing some more film breakdowns as soon as the game starts popping off. That's really what I love to do. You know, I love to talk game and, you know, talk to you like we're doing. But really, I like to analyze the tape.
Yeah, and this is what I'm here for, man. I'm gonna help you build your channel too, man. I mean, I believe you can reach up to where you want to go, man. Like, I'm just coming as a guy who's had this channel for at least over a year and starting to look at potential, and you just have the ceiling, dude. So keep doing what you're doing, man. You're gonna hit off, man, in no time.
Hey, that makes me feel good, CG. I appreciate that.
No, I mean, don't let the views determine how you feel about your channel. It'll add up in no time. Just takes time.
Yeah.
See, it took me a while to transition from doing what I'm doing, even though the views ain't all that great, but it's gonna hit off at some point. So you just got some people have to be patient with that, you know?
Absolutely. I'm having a lot of fun. You know, I used to play a lot of Madden back in the day. That was kind of my hobby. Then I was like, you know what? I'm kind of getting maddened out, kind of getting at that age where I was looking for a new hobby. And I'm like, you know what? I love talking sports. I love the Niners. So what else would I rather do than share it with an audience? And YouTube's the perfect platform to do that.
Yeah, YouTube was a platform that I just didn't know much about. The only thing I knew about YouTube back then was when one of my the guys that recorded me pinning a guy in 10 seconds in wrestling, which was a record at one point at my school. So I never knew what a YouTube was until somebody actually recorded me. And I told him, well, what is that you were recording me on? He said YouTube. And it was like in 2007 or something like that. And I'm like, whoa.
Does the video still exist?
I don't know. That's the question. I don't even know if it does. I mean, I think somebody told me.
CG.
Wish I could find it, but it's an old record. But a lot of people then, man, it's like I never knew what it was until I started doing one in 2019. That's when I started building my channel. But I started off as a trash talker for a while, and then it just started giving me a lot of controversial, a lot of backlash. So I started backing out. And then now that I'm changing platform, it's giving me more of a better vibe, more positive, no negativity, none of that downside way. You know, I don't want to down people. I want to promote people, man. If they can promote me, I'm gonna promote you. But you're gonna get there in no time, man. Like that's what I like about. See, you're an up and coming YouTuber. I know that guys like Jay and the Bay and others, they've been around like me, but we're gonna give you the best power of positivity, man. You can do it. You know what, man? You might even be the next Grant Cohn. Just believe in it, man. Just believe in it. Cause I seen your sketch videos. I seen your sketch videos like where you do it in half. That's what Grant does, man. Come on.
You know how it goes. You know how it goes. Well, that's Grant's someone who I've watched, and I started calling into the home phone, and that's where I kind of built up my confidence and really made. I was like, you know what? I'm having a lot of fun. I want to make my own channel so I can control it. I'm the boss.
You're the boss, man. Nah, but yeah, man. Personality. That's all it is with being in this YouTube. You just gotta have a good personality, and you just gotta be yourself, and you enjoy it. So you know what, man? When I watch it, I'm thinking, man, it's a little bit like Grant Cohn a little bit, just for some. But then the breakdown videos, it's a little different. Like you got some John Chapman in you a little bit with the breakdown. Then you got the Grant Cohn with the little mix. I mean, I don't know, maybe.
Oh, those are legends. Those are legends, CG. You're boosting my ego right now. I'm feeling good.
I'm giving you confidence, man. I'm giving you confidence, man. You could be anything, man. Like me, I don't even think of myself as the next. I don't even think of myself as the next Rombo or any other guy. I just want to be CG, man. I want to be myself.
I mean, you're one of a kind because you also. I feel like me and you bring the energy. When we're on, we don't want our viewers to fall asleep, and that's why we speak with a purpose and we speak from the heart. And I feel that from you, CG.
Yeah, I speak with honesty. Like I can't just say something, then it doesn't mean any. Like it doesn't. Like I don't really mean it. So you gotta say it with truthfully. Most people don't want to see a liar and then say you weren't saying this. No. Say it through the heart. That's all it is. But in all honesty, dude, it was a great stream. Maybe in the near future or whenever you get the free time, we'll collaborate again. Maybe on your stream again or mine, doesn't matter. We're more than open. We can do a Niners roundtable with your boy Shardell and quite a few others, and we can debate. But yeah, dude. So I'm gonna give you your last final saying, and then we're gonna end the stream. I'm gonna give you the choice, champ. Let me just put the solo, and I'm gonna put you in, and you got your final saying.
I want to say thank you for everyone who checked out the stream with me and CG Ruthless. And, I'm a Niners fan, and I want to get that 6th ring, all right? I want that. We're on the quest for 6. If Jimmy's the guy, I'm going to be pulling for Jimmy. If Trey Lance wins the job, I'm going to be pulling for Trey. But what I want to see is I want to see the Niner fan base unite, because I know there's some division, right? A lot of people are Jimmy Garoppolo truthers or Trey Lance diehards, but it's like together we're Niners fans. All right, so let's remember that, because in these Twitter streets it gets kind of wild. You pick a side, and then you got like immediate enemies, but we're all Niners fans, so let's get that 6.
All right, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, you know, I'm neutral, man. I want Jimmy to excel too, but I'm with Trey Lance all day, so I don't want to pick sides, because it's like picking your favorite child. So come on, that's not right.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, great time, man. It's gonna be coming in the near future. We'll definitely collaborate, man. But I'm more than open to get these up and coming YouTubers, and a guy like you, man. You're just gonna strive. You're gonna get better. Usually, when you first start your channel, it's a slow start, but then when you get it just takes one video, and then that's it. You're hitting off. Once you hit off, you get on a roll, and you don't stop. You keep it going. That's what it is.
Hey, I appreciate that. The words of wisdom and the kind words you've given me. All right, CG, definitely. Training camp's a week away. We're gonna have a lot of content. We're gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about here pretty soon.
Keep it going, bro. That's what it is. Get the topic, get the content, get it going, bro. That's the thing. Training camp's coming, so that's gonna be an interesting topic. So yeah, dude. So as far as the audience, we'll see you later. As always, go Niners. And CG Ruthless Sports is out. And go Niners. And shout out to Bayareaballer18. I will share on the link of the community tab. You guys can go check them out. But it's a great time. And see you later, y'all. Peace. All right.